Hello, welcome to my live chat. I will be recording this one to load on my podcast as well. I was planning to do a podcast Sunday morning at 9 a.m., but a special package arrived. The mailman just delivered this about an hour ago while I was eating lunch, and I decided that I might as well do that unboxing live today, now, and then not do the live chat Sunday morning. I'm pretty sure people don't need uh, to see me 2 days in a row within 12 hours, right? Hello, Ray and John. Um, yes, so tomorrow, no live chat Sunday morning because this will be the episode. I will do the unboxing and then I will talk a little bit about a couple different topics that I plan to talk tomorrow. So it will be recorded and it will be loaded on iTunes sometime in the near future. So yes, welcome. One of the reasons I love to do a chat in the morning. This is natural light in my office right now. Can you see? Night and day. Compared to my night chat, where the lighting is usually pretty bad, I love open the windows, have natural light, and this is not even the best it can be. Right now, it's barely sunny, and as you can see, it is wonderful. It's bright. I'm pretty sure everyone would agree that everything looked pretty bright in this room. Well, anyhow, welcome to Saturday afternoon chat, comic chat. Okay, so I bought this, came decently packed, okay, in one of those, what do you call this thing, Gemini envelope. I did not expect this item until Monday. Uh, the last time the seller on eBay contact me, he said Tuesday. So I didn't expect this at all. So when the mailman knocked on the door for me to sign the package, I'm like, ooh. I Let me see. I need to find the razor. I haven't bought much on eBay. I have not bought anything on eBay for weeks, if not months. So when this come, I know right away what it is. So let's let's open it. Yes, I am. Are you kidding me? Hmm. I get a little nervous there because I look at the package and just like, is the book is not even in the bag? The book just sandwiched between the cardboard, and I had to be very careful in opening this because I think the book is wrapped in some kind of newsprint. That's what confused me. At first, I was just like, oh my God. See? There you go. When I looked through the crack of the cardboard and I saw this, I thought this was the bare spine of the book. And I freaked out a little bit. I'm just like, what the heck? How can somebody put a book without bags inside the cardboard and tape it up? So, whew. So yeah, my heart was racing a little bit right there. Oh, it is. Okay. This book is in my top 5 all-time Joker Golden Age cover. Top 5. Okay. One of these days, as I mentioned in my recent Got to Have video, hello, Lord Tadman and Anthony. No, it's not Motorhead. This was a rapper. Okay, this was the rapper. Some kind of magazine, quarterly bulletin magazine from New York. And the thing is, the book was shipped from California. Well, this book is in my top 5 all-time favorite Joker cover. Okay, so one of these days I will need to do a video that show my top 10. One of these days. I've been thinking about it. I have the 10 picked out. I just cannot decide the order. Very hard to decide. Hello, Kurt. Kurt 68, Joker 68. I said Kurt 68. Joker 68 will love this cover. He's a huge Joker fan. So I am sure this book will get his approval. Bye, Ray. Okay, so I'm taking the book out of the bag. Since this is, one of those eBay purchase, I will need to be very careful, count the pages, check restoration, all that. But I might have to do that offline because you can't do. Are you ready? I'm pretty sure this is not restored. I can tell from the picture, but let me show you the back cover. It's Golden Age. It's DC. Okay, decent back cover, right? It's dirty. Okay. It's low grade. I think the book is maybe maximum a 3.0, more likely 2.5, assuming that everything is a-okay. Of course, I had to count all the pages and everything, but are you ready for the front cover? This is insane. Ready? Yes. Happy birthday to me. Oh my God. Yes, indeed. I need to take a sip of my coffee there and admire this baby. I'm telling you, if you have never, issue 73, if you have never seen this cover before, let me know what you think, okay? Look at that. Utility belt Joker everywhere. Right? Yeah, that's my reaction. Is that a surprise that this is in the top 10 all-time Golden Age Joker cover? I think most people would put it somewhere in the top 10. Okay, dare I say, it would be very hard to pick this one or Batman 70, the other one that was in my Got to Have video, 49. Okay, between that one and this one, woo, unbelievable. I have tried to buy this book 3 times. 3 times. This is the 3rd time. So 3 times. 3rd time is the charm. The first 2 fail. The last one took place a month ago, 3 weeks ago. My first attempt was 3 years ago, and I had to return that one because they had restoration on it. The second time, also not good. This time, so far so good. We will find out after I give it a good examination, maybe later, right? But yes, this is a self-gift, birthday gift for myself. My birthday is not going to be for another 2 weeks, November 13th, of course. But it's an early birthday gift, and I also bought myself something else, which Dr. Von Schiller has seen. I have shot a special video for the other present, the other self-gift. I will load that on exactly November 13th. So if you want to see the other cool item I bought for myself, you will have to wait to November 13th to see it. But maybe I should just go through the pages right now. Why wait, right? The excitement is too much to handle. I just gotta make sure I get enough space here on my table. So how's everyone doing? I just saw the news seconds ago before I start the chat about the shooting in Pittsburgh. What is going on in this world, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Great page quality. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm counting the page as well as checking for make sure that everything is no panels of coupon clipped out. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 page and the cover. Is that everything? I need to check a website that will tell me exactly how many page this book need to be, and then I can say. But this 20 page here, well, there's 40 page, 20 on each side. Oof, beautiful, beautiful. The worst flaw is about a 2.5-inch spine split right there, right to the bottom staple. The bottom staple is still on. Okay, still completely attached. The book is firmly attached at the bottom staple. The tear happened right under the staple. So there you go. Beautiful. I will double check the page count after the chat to make sure that everything is perfect, and then I'd be happy as can be with that birthday gift. Yes, John, look at all the white here. Okay, at 52. Yes, it's no longer just peppers. It's maybe I would say roughly 50% or so. Well, anyhow, I was gonna do a Sunday morning chat, but because this book came early, I decided to do a chat now and then just move on with the topics that I was going to talk about on Sunday. Anyway, this way I don't need to do 2 live chats 2 days in a row. One of the topics I want to talk about is, for the last many years, one of the advice that many of us old-timer people that have been in the hobby for years, if not decades, have advised constantly, and you hear this, you heard this and hear this on many channels, on many videos, that collect what you love and you'll be fine. Okay, because people always, talk about whether someone is collecting for investment, for speculation, for the love of the hobby, you name it. There's all kind of different ways that people like to collect in this hobby. But the one advice that many people, I included, threw out there constantly is collect what you love and you will be okay, regardless of the value of the book or what happened to the books. Whether it go up, awesome. If it doesn't, you have the books to enjoy. Okay. Most of us have repeat this phrase over and over. The only issue that I have with that phrase is that it applies for people that have been in the hobby for a long time. It really doesn't apply for new collectors that have no idea. That just, if you just start to collect last week, last month, how do you know what you love? Right? This is what's hard for new collectors today. I think it's so much harder today than to be a new collectors back in the 80s or the 90s. Back when I started to collect, I had no idea what other people liked. I had no idea what was popular. I have zero influences from the external environment. The only thing that influenced me through those early years were, yes, my eyes. Okay, my eyes, my eyes and my brain. Whatever these eyes, whatever they liked, and whatever my brain registered is what I bought and I enjoyed. And it's easy to not be influenced by all the voices, the social media voices that seem to be a lot of noises, right? I think that's why I have said it many times that today in this hobby, it is much, much more difficult than ever because of social media. Um, that is not to say that, social media is bad. There are pros and cons to social media. Certainly, news travel faster, and that's a good thing. But at the same time, I feel that the collectors today are being bombarded constantly with images and sound of what other people collect. And subconsciously, you can get sucked into buying things that you really don't love. Okay. I think that's where many people figure out later that, hey, why did I buy that? Okay, why did I buy that? Did I buy that because I saw it in somebody's video? Did I buy it because somebody told me that this book is going to go up? Why did I buy these things? Um, back in the 80s and 90s, when I bought something, I bought it because my eyes and brains liked it. That's it. I feel bad for the newer collectors that that feel overwhelmed by the sheer avalanche of information that are thrown at them. If you just start the hobby 6 months ago, my God, it would be insane trying to go through YouTube and trying to figure out what you want to collect. I think. I don't know. I would love to hear what other new collector did when they first joined the hobby. Like I hear stories here and there from people that just joined the hobbies last month, last week, last year. But I'm always interested in hearing those stories because I really want to know what it is that influenced them into buying something. Was it something they love, or is it because of the social media magnet that drove them into buying something? And I think that's where the confusion of buy what you love really shouldn't be applied to new collectors. It's not that it's wrong if they want they know what they love. Okay, hey, if you love Batman the character because you um, see all the Nolan Batman movies before you ever bought a comic book, so you love the character, so you jump in and you buy Batman comic books. I can see that. It's nothing. I can see how a new person, a new collector, is buying what he loves. Okay, maybe he will discover other characters, other superheroes, and other titles down the road. But for a lot of people, seem to me they really don't have a favorite characters. They just love the movies. You know, they may love the Avengers and all the Marvel, Disney movies, and let's jump in the hobby because it look a lot of fun. You know, hopefully for that kind of new collectors, they eventually narrow down what they love. Okay, because the longevity of anyone in this hobby have to be, I hate to use the word true love, the longevity. If you're gonna be in this for 30 years, like this old man, 35, 40 years, you really gotta love it. And you don't have to buy. That's the other thing. You know, one of the things that I think I, Dr. Van Schiller, especially um, talked about often is that you don't have to buy. You don't have to constantly buy something to love it. You can love comic books. You can enjoy comic books. I go through my old books all the time on a weekly basis. I thumb through a couple books, a couple magazines. I don't need to go to the store on Wednesday to pick up a stack of books to love the hobby, right? So it's a certain point for some people like me. Um, it's not that important to pile on new stuff, to add more stuff to the shelf or to the short boxes to show our appreciation for the hobby. You know, it's Marvel or DC or anybody. We don't owe anything to any of these company. You know, I always kind of cringe whenever I hear people saying that I'm buying the books to show my support for this creator or for this company. You know, mm, I personally I don't understand that kind of thinking. Um, they should be thanking you to buy their books and put the money in their pocket. But as far as you doing it to support them, uh, like I said, I don't relate. Okay, so it's not that it's right or wrong. Um, that's like me, you know, going to a restaurant that I like. You know, I go there because I like the food. I don't go there and thinking I'm there to show support and things for the owner, the cook. No, I go there because I like the food. If I buy a comic book, it's because I like the art or the story or the characters. Has nothing to do with supporting anything. It's a product. But that's just the way my brain works. Okay, I'm just explaining how my brains work, and it's definitely not the same the way my brain works compared to what other people think. Yes, Brian Spaceboy. Speaking of which, I need to look in my cabinet for Dracula magazine. I think you asked if I still have some. I have some extra Dracula magazine here and there. I just forgot to look for them since the last time we spoke about. So yes, so that was one topic I want to talk about was, buy what you love is an easy thing to roll off the tongue, but really it's not an easy thing that is applicable to every collectors because a lot of new collectors just have no idea what they love. Okay. Hopefully, eventually, they will figure it out. And then they can be in the hobby for years, if not decades, and enjoy it. If you jump in the hobby because you love collecting, for some people, usually it's quick. A lot of people that figure out that this is not what they want to do usually figure out very quickly. By very quickly, I mean sometimes months, sometimes a year, that this is not what they do. There's plenty of YouTube channels of people that disappear. Okay, plenty. I have been in this community now for 6 years. I have seen hundreds of channels that pops up because I just start the hobby, love this hobbies to death, and then 6 months later, poof, gone. So for some people, they try it and then they realize it's not for them, and that's not a bad thing. Okay, because it's not a cheap hobby. um, you know for many people, there's better ways to spend $50 a week somewhere else. A lot better way to spend $50 a week somewhere else instead of buying a bunch of stuff. Buy a bunch of books that are going to end up sitting in a box, and then later you're just going to blow it out in the garage sales for a quarter each. Okay, so that's not the best thing to do. Spending $5 on a comic books, and then a year later try to give it away for 25 cents. Okay, so it's but that's one thing. The other thing I want to talk about, I just look at the clock. It's about halfway through. I've been chip japping for almost 30 minutes, and I try to keep my chat um, an hour. Okay, so for those that follow my podcast, this episode will also be loaded in the podcast sometime next week whenever I get around to it. If you subscribe to the podcast, you can listen to it later. Um, the other topic I want to discuss is selling. Uh, recently, with the way the market has been hot, okay, a lot of book blew up. A few people have contacted me and asked me if this is the right time to sell. That's a tall question. Um, you know, Extremely difficult question for anyone to answer. It's just like any investment, like a stock, like a stock. I have always said this. It is easy to buy a stock. It's very hard to let go of a stock after it runs so high for some people. Some people, not a problem. But for a lot of people, when something appreciate a lot, it is so hard to let go. Okay, it's very common to hear this. Okay, I've been through this before. I have done this enough time. that I have figured out a way to ease my brain, if that make any sense. Because at the end of the day, it's very easy to be caught up in the game of regrets. You sold something, and then the book keep on going higher, and then you have remorse selling it. Just like a stock, you can buy a stock, it can double, it can triple. You decide to sell something, next thing you know, the stock go much higher, and then you sit there and say to yourself, damn it, I missed out on so much more profit. And that's one thing, being a trader is that I have been for the past many decades. I learned to tame the beast, as I call it, the beast. Is that you can't, it's hard to buy at the bottom. Okay, as a stock trader, you try, in a perfect world, you want to time the bottom. You want to buy a stock when it hit bottom, and then you want to sell the stock at the top to get the maximum gain on both ends, right? Buy low, sell high. Well, in reality, not easy to do. Easy concept, easy thing to let it roll off your tongue. Okay, just like buy what you love. Easy to let that roll off our tongue, right? Buy what you love. Well, the only problem is if you never collect before, how do you know what you love? And as far as my opinion on where the market is going is definitely high. How would I approach selling? Okay, it's very personal. There's no advice that will fit every person. Impossible. Impossible. Um, what I try to do is advise people: A, if you have duplicates, much easy decision to be made, right? If you have duplicates, if you have two copy of something, for sure in this hot market, sell some duplicates. Nothing wrong, okay? Nothing wrong with selling some duplicates. It's a wise thing to do, okay? Just like me, there's a reason why I slap a lot of books so I can sell in January, because many of those books, if not all of those books, are duplicates of something I have already. So in this hot market, even for book like Hook 181, especially book like Hook 181, if you have multiple copies, and I do, I'm not going to sit here with all my copies and hog it all. Um, the same way I approach stock trading. If I have, if I bought and own, say, 300 share of Apple, certainly along the way, if the stock double, I would sell some. Okay, I never sell out a position all at once. Okay, if I bought 300 share of Apple and it double, most likely I would sell 100 and keep 200 and let it ride, right? And then sell some more if it go higher. And the same thing with comic books. If you have duplicates, that's how you should approach it. If you feel the itch to sell because in your mind, this has gone up too fast, too much, then sell some, especially if you have duplicates. There is absolutely little reason to do nothing. There's plenty of reason to do something, right? So, but there's always a big but. What if you only have one copy? Okay, this is where it gets sticky. What if you have one copy? How would you approach this scenario? it's easy to sit here and give advice when you have duplicates. If you have 2 or 3 of everything, hey, what's the big deal? Sell some. Well, what if you have one copy of X-Men 1, one copy of Hulk 181, one copy of all of your favorite book? What would you do? Well, if you still want to sell, my advice is sell things that are easy to find, easier to find. So whatever you have in your collection, regardless if it is a key, okay? If it is easier to find a copy of Hulk 181 on eBay because there are always dozens of copy, then that might be the one to sell compared to, say, Fantastic Four #5, which is a much tougher book to find in any condition. So you have to balance it out in your mind. What is more important to you and what is easier to replace later? Okay, that's the key. It's, if you sell something with the intention that you want to buy it back later if the market crash or came down, because that's why you want to sell, right? You're sitting here saying, gee, the market has went up so much. I want to sell something. I don't want to hold on to my books and miss out on pocketing some gain. If that's your mindset, then you must figure out in your collection what is easy to replace later. If something is uber hard to find, that should be the last book you should sell, regardless of how much it's worth. Okay? Selling the most prized thing in your collection first is the absolute worst idea you can do. Hands down, I think most people would agree with that advice. When you start selling, if you are in the mode to blow out your collection, always sell your junk first or your lesser books first. Okay, you don't want to blow out your best stuff first. If I was to blow out my collection, the keys will go last. Yes. But it's hard. And the advice is really not applicable to everyone. Okay, that's life. Everybody approach the hobby differently. Every book means something differently to each person. So it's easy for me to sit here and say, sell the stuff that you are least attached to, as well as the stuff that is easiest to replace later. Easy for me to say that. But for some people, we know they are so attached to this stuff, so attached that it is not an easy thing to let go of anything. Okay, that's where the problem is. A lot of people ask me for advice, and often they don't listen to those advice because they just cannot let go, and they end up selling the other things, whatever. It's that's the way the hobby is. Okay, I can only tell you how I approach my how I approach this hobby and how I approach selling anything. It's rare that I sold something without duplicates, but I have done it. At first, I saw a lot of duplicates, and then I learned to sell some stuff that I no longer want. There are things in my collection that I said, I don't care if I ever have this book ever again. I have plenty of those. Not everything in my collection are duplicates. of something else. I don't have 2 or 3 of everything. No, no. There are books that I might have 5 or 6 or 10 copies, and then there's a lot of books that are just one of each. So yes, and that has been my plan. My plan in the last 2 or 3, 5 years, 5 years for sure, has been to sell some every year. Sell more, buy less. That's how I want to shrink down my collection. It's to sell more, buy less. Buy the things I really want, regardless of investment potential or value. It's easier on the brain to think that way. I'm just checking the chat room here to see the action. Hello, Anthony Hoyle. Yes. Maybe in another video, another chat, maybe in a couple of weeks. I definitely don't have. I do not plan to have Sunday chat or Saturday chat like this every week. It's maybe every other week at best, or every other Sunday. So for sure, there will not be anything next weekend. By next weekend, maybe the podcast will be up. So for those that are not watching this live, then they can listen to it again on the podcast. I'm looking at the clock now and look like I am about 19-20 minutes away from my 1 hour allocation to this. But for those that just joined this late, if you joined this late, this is what the birthday unboxing was for. This book right here. Look at that beautiful blazing yellow and red Joker cover. And that wonderful sweet smell of golden pulp, right? Beautiful book. Oh, check out. And the cover is actually it's the first time I flipped to this book, so it's gonna be a fun read for me later after I double check and triple check everything. Oh yeah, here you go. The cover reproduced inside in I believe this is the 4th story right there. So you get a double dose of the cover. I just absolutely love this book. Oh my God. Yes, I dare say top 5 Joker's cover for me. No doubt. No doubt in my mind. So the other present I have is not a comic book. Dr. Von Schiller has already seen it. I have shown it to John and Patrick last week. Was it last week or 2 weeks ago? I can't remember. But the other present, which I shot the video and will load, it's comic book related, but it's not a comic book. It's a pretty cool item. For some people, they might look at that and say, I would never buy that. Okay, so, but for some people, they might find it cool. I love it. I can tell you, it is something that I have wanted for a long time. Yes, Brian Space Boys has sold 90% of his collection, and he has no regret. That's a good thing. I think for a lot of people that have never sell, if you never sold anything, a lot of hardcore collectors think that is so hard to do because they have never sold something. They're so attached to the books that they can't imagine selling anything. I can tell you, if you sell something, you might surprise yourself that it's not so bad. And next thing you know, you'll be selling a whole bunch. Just saying. Okay, I'm just saying that for those that think that, no way, man, I love my collection, I will never sell anything. I think you'll be surprised. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised after you let go of some stuff. My advice is let go of some non essential stuff. At the end of the day, for a lot of people, they may have a lot of stuff. They may love a lot of books, but they also have a lot of stuff that they don't really love. Stuff that have been sitting there for years, if not decades, that they have never looked at it again. They bought it long ago, long time ago, and it went in the box and stayed in the boxes all these decades. For those kind of books, you would be surprised. If you let go of those books, you might not miss them. Okay? I can tell you, it does a lot of good for me to reduce my collection, because now I have three metal cabinets. For those that watch my man cave makeover, I have three metal cabinet that house roughly 3,000 books, and I go through the cabinets weekly, pull out a few things here and there to read, to flip through, to make some videos, to read the story again. I do that and I enjoyed it. With 3,000 books, it's so much more manageable than at one point I had over 13,000. So you're talking more than 4 times what I have today. Okay. To have 4 times more books, it took up so much space. It was impossible to find anything. It was so disorganized. It was a mess, a cluster F of a mess, because it things that I accumulate, collection I bought over the past many years and decades. It's just so messy, not enjoyable in any way. Okay, so for some people, everyone enjoy the hobby different way. Okay, so I can only tell you how it impacted me the moment that I sold a book and realized that I was okay. It was not like, oh my God, I'm gonna miss this book so much. No, it was like, it's not so bad. Does not mean that I love the hobby any less, right? It's just, you'd be surprised. I'm convinced that for those that have never sold anything, that if they start to sell some junky stuff that they really don't need, even if it is for $10 for a stack of 20 books, I think they will find it liberating. Just Pele, hello, welcome to the room. Thank you for joining. Did you see, since you just joined the chat, I think you saw the book that I show off. Yes, it's had been a liberating process in the past 5 years for me. Okay, it's I feel much unburdened, and I plan to continue to unwind the next 5 years. Okay, I do my best to control my buying, because it's the goal. Sell more than I buy. That's the only way to reduce the collection. If I go out there and bought a bunch of stuff all the time, that's not what I want. Okay, the fact that I went out there and bought over 100 Silver Age books in the Spider-Man and X-Men Silver Age collections, that was not planned at all. So that was more buying than I expected for this entire year. So after that, after those two collections, whew, did I want to cut down hard, okay? Because that's go against my plan to downsize the collection. So hopefully between Thanksgiving and Christmas, I will have some free time, and I will start to put together a couple stacks of books and slabs I want to sell in January. Hopefully, I can put together at least 200 books that I want to get rid of my collection. So that's the plan. The plan has always been to trying to sell a couple hundreds. I did it this year. I got rid of roughly 200 books and slab this year. So, unfortunately, I also bought a whole lot. So the number didn't shrink as much as I wanted to. My goodness, just Pele in the chat room said he had to he had he had his house built to accommodate a large collection. It's over 70,000 books. Dr. Banchula said he threw up in his mouth a little bit when he read that. 70,000 books. There you go. See, that dwarfed my 13,000 6 times. There's guys on YouTube that like to brag that they have 20 or 30,000 books. Well, guess what? There you go. Like I said last week, for anyone on the internet that think that they have the biggest, the greatest, whatever, I hate to inform you, you don't. It's silly how some people get all worked up on those things. It's not a competition. But for some people, this hobby is all about the competition. Thank goodness I don't look at it that way. Well, just Pele, 35 years and 70,000 books. My goodness. And most of those 70,000 books are gold, silver, and bronze. I'm pretty sure there are a lot of duplicates in there, right? Lots of duplicates. Well, just Pele, I believe you are a dealer, correct? I believe you go to convention. If you are, you should post your dealer's name or store name so that other people, other YouTuber can know who you are, so that if they ever see you in a convention or at a convention, they can walk up to you and say, "Ha, you are that guy on YouTube, just Pele." Yes, I love to see. I would love to see. Did everybody here saw that video that Silver Age Dave did at the store in Chicago? Did anyone remember that video he did like a month ago, where he showed you a store that had to the ceiling, to the ceiling, boxes and boxes and boxes of Silver Age and Golden Age and bronze goodness, as well as modern. But I think the owner said, correct me if I'm wrong, but he said he had like 500,000 comic books of that store. That's insane. I would love to go to that store. Okay. I would love to go and see how I can walk out with nothing. It would be insane. It would be just fun. I have reached a point of collecting where I can. And in fact, the last two conventions the last two conventions that I attended, I walked in and walked out with nothing. And I was pretty happy. I mean, this is, gosh, it's been 10 years? Yeah, 10 years ago. 10 years ago when my son was a baby. Anthony now is 11. But this is before he was 1 year old. I went to San Diego Comic Con and Tampa Bay Con 2 cons in the same year. My last 2 cons I went to, and at both cons, I left with nothing. I bought nothing. And I think that's when I realized that I have crossed over at a certain point of the hobby where I don't need to buy anything. I didn't have to buy anything. I didn't want to buy anything. I had fun walking around. That was good enough. Well, we're running down to the last 5 minutes. I appreciate the few people. There's 20 people in the room, so I appreciate everyone that joined me. If you missed out on the book that I bought to show as a present, well, I'm pretty sure everyone in the chat room seen it. I'm not gonna dig it out and show it the third time. I'm just gonna take a look at the chat room to see what's going on before I sign off. Collector's Dream World is the store of Just Pele. When he was 19, he bought out a golden and silver age shop. It was called Collector's Dream World in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. That's where it all really started. Wow. Just Pele said, I don't let the internet know where I live. I don't blame you. But if you don't have a store, that's fine. I thought you may be a dealer that go to convention with your own booth. Because if you have your own booth, by just giving the name of your booth, people on the internet will show up and say hi. I saw you. I heard about you from ETA Nick live chat. Yes, so that's about it. I think it's time for me to sign off. It's a beautiful day here. Finally, the weather in Florida is cooling off, so it's getting pleasant. The AC does not need to run all the time. You can go outside and it's nice and cooler. This is just the end of October. Usually the end of November by Thanksgiving is when it's awesome to live down here in Florida. For now, it's getting there. It get to a point where it's not humid, hot, and buggy down here. And that's it. I should have a CGC haul next week. I have a batch at CGC that is finishing grading. They grade it. They just need to be slabbed. And as soon as they are slabbed, I will call them next week and schedule a time to pick them up. And if I do, there will be a CGC haul live video as I have done the last couple of times. Other than that, happy weekend. I hope everybody had fun. Enjoy the weekend, and you will not see me tomorrow. This was supposed to be Sunday morning, but because the mailman came with the book early, I decided to have the chat today. Anyhow, thanks everyone. Until next month. Okay, the next chat won't take place until maybe the second week of November. Bye-bye.